So welcome. Good morning, and thank you for all being a part of this. This is the biggest Zoom that I've been a part of, so that's kind of exciting. We really miss seeing your faces. For those that don't know me, my name is Betsy Rezenchak, and I am the founder and executive director at Home Sweet Home. Do one thing real fast. Oh, somebody else is here.
How do I freeze my video when I get up and leave?
Where it says start video, just click on it and it'll stop your video.
Start video. Okay.
So,
You can add a picture, but it'll probably just be your initials or name if you haven't done it.
Okay.
all right. So for those that don't know my name, and I think I know most of the people on here, but my name is Betsy. I'm the executive director and founder at Home Sweet Home. Since we started 4 years ago, we have served more than 1,700 families, and technically I think it's like 1,741 families. So that's kind of exciting. Just a reminder again to everyone that we're recording this, so we'll have it available for the people that are not able to join us. And I think so far there's over 50 folks on here, so thank you again for coming on. Again, if there's a chat button at the bottom of the screen if you're on a computer, so feel free to pop in any questions as we're talking, and we'll answer them as we're going or at the end, depending on kind of how the flow is going. We just wanted to really give you an update because we had a lot of volunteers and donors kind of asking similar questions. So we thought it would be really helpful if we could address them all at once, but also fun if we could see everybody's faces. Home Sweet Home's last day of service was on May 17th or 18th. And since then, our team has, for those that can be working from home, we're working from home. Our movers have been at home. Our staff has been able to stay connected, of course, through Zoom and lots of text messages and social media. And I think we've all kind of gone through the same different stages of fear and boredom and frustration and anxiety and gardening as everybody else. But everybody is doing well, and everybody is healthy. So that's the important thing. Our staff and board aren't the only ones doing Zoom chats. A lot of the volunteers on here have met occasionally through Zoom. And we're actually, Lisa B's working on setting up a training through another organization called Alive and Well about trauma, and how we can better serve our clients. So look for that in the next week or two. We've tried to find different ways to just keep in touch with the volunteers because we really just miss you. And so one of the ways that Lisa also did that was to send out a survey. It was a 29-question survey that was sent, I think, to about 150 people. Somebody else is here. And she got 42 responses. And so I was going to just show you very briefly 3 of the pieces that I thought were really interesting about that. So if you see what is similar to my screen, you should see a pie chart. You guys, oh, perfect. So one of the questions that was on the survey was, when did you begin volunteering at Home Sweet Home? And you can see here that it really spans from the year that we started, which is good to see that not only have we been able to grow our volunteer base, but almost 20% of our volunteers are those original volunteers. So you all know how hard it was in the beginning, as hard as it can be now, those early days of that tiny warehouse and lots of stuff and not a lot of space. So 2016 was the year that we started that. The next slide shows how did you find Home Sweet Home? And nearly half of the volunteers said that they found Home Sweet Home through a referral of a friend or a family member or a colleague. And I think that really shows a lot about just the importance of the volunteers that we have and the role that you play in supporting our mission in the operation of Home Sweet Home. It also, you can see in that chart, it really kind of highlights the importance of it highlights the importance of our church and our faith group partners because so many people have come through those ways, and we have several churches that are really working to support the mission. One of our big goals for 2020 was to really build up our corporate volunteer groups. Obviously, that's going to look a little bit different now in the world of coronavirus, but we hope to kind of still move in that direction at some point. And then the next slide shows a piece of the why. So volunteers could volunteer anywhere they wanted to. They're smart, they're capable, they have time, they're enthusiastic. So why did they choose to volunteer at Home Sweet Home? And really the core piece of that is because they like the mission and it aligns well with their beliefs and their values. They also like that it's a friendly atmosphere, that we have a very flexible in terms of hours and not a very rigid commitment structure. I kind of laughed at that part. And a lot of focus too on the environmental practices, right? Keeping things out of landfills was very important for our volunteers. So those were the key pieces of the volunteer survey. If you would ever like to see kind of like a larger snapshot of that, we'd be happy to share it to you. So just ask either Lisa B or myself, because Lisa did a lot of work on it and really kind of ciphered through a lot of the information. It was really good. The other cool thing, and the last piece that I have, is that I was able to coordinate with other furniture banks around the country, a furniture bank roundtable via Zoom. It had more than 40 people from the United States and Canada. And we really did it because there were enough people in a Facebook group kind of asking the same questions that I said we just really need to all get together and chat about what this looks like. And so I was able to facilitate that conversation. It was an hour and a half of kind of brainstorming, what does it look like in the world of coronavirus to help our clients shop, delivery versus pickup, how do we handle incoming donations, what are the safety precautions we can take. But then there were lots of things we didn't get to. So we didn't get to fundraising during coronavirus. We didn't get to volunteer management or board engagement. And so we're actually scheduled this Friday to have another Zoom just specifically look at fundraising in the world of coronavirus. So it's both fun and encouraging to kind of see other organizations that have almost the same exact operation, problems and challenges, and we might all have different solutions. And it really helped us dictate part of our plan as we move forward, decide what we can do in St. Louis and what we can't do. So just again, if you have questions as we go, you can drop them into the chat function, and then I will turn it over to our treasurer, Ian Lingle. Oh, Ian will have to unmute you. Perfect.
There, I think I got it. I'm Ian Lingle. I'm our treasurer. This is my second year as treasurer and third year on the board. And what I wanted to talk about was just fiscal responsibility of our organization, what the board is doing. And I kind of broke it out into three different parts, which is how we got here, where we're at now, and kind of where we're going to go from here. So first, how we got here was through a lot of support of the people in this chat as well as others. And I want to throw a specific shout out to our previous board president, Sarah Lamke, and our treasurer, Andrew Nold. What we were able to do is with policies when we were moving into our new building, buying our second truck, we put in those policies that we would be adding on to our reserve funds. So those funds have helped us sustain through this pandemic and will continue to do so. It's also allowed us to be patient and make thoughtful decisions, both when it comes to our staff and our building. And so we don't have to rush to make anything rash there. Where we're at right now is we have been doing some board-driven task force that have evaluated some best case, some worst case, and some likely scenarios. That has been a ever-changing process, and a big thank you to Ron Rickman and Mike Fisher, as well as Christy Brinkman, for going through all of that, because it was changing almost every single day. The board was able to make or ask thoughtful questions and answer them the best that we could. And then what we were able to do is, despite halting services on March 17th, we've been able to fully pay our staff out of our cash on hand and reserve funds. And so we haven't made any decisions based on the staff there. And then we recently had a small group that evaluated the PPP loan with Chad Connor and Candace Weatherfield, as well as Christy and myself. And we found out over the weekend that we did get PPP funding. So that has, again, allowed us to continue paying our staff through the end of June. So we've been in a great position thus far due to a lot of hard work from both the previous board as well as a group that has been engaged on these various task force too. So then kind of where we go from here, between the PPP loan, our reserves, and the generosity shown by our supporters, you know, specifically in this chat, as well as our corporate sponsors, our conversations have not been, will we survive this pandemic, or how will this affect us? It's really, you know, how do we transition to reopening, and what does our future look like? So I just want to say a big thank you to everybody there, because it's really allowed us to change the conversation and put our staff at ease, as well as our board of directors and our supporters too. And so those are kind of the points that I wanted to talk about, and I'll turn it over to Christy from here.
Thanks, Ian. Ian and the Finance Committee have done a tremendous job of running through a lot of different scenarios. You know, nobody could have prepared for something like this, and it's been, I'm incredibly grateful for the board that we have and for all of our volunteers and supporters. I just think we're very fortunate to be in this position.
For those of you I haven't met, I'm Christy Brinkman. I am the current board president, totally unprepared to be leading through a challenge like this. So again, just very grateful for the team that we have around us. Our staff has really stepped up. Betsy's been amazing. Ian, everybody, it's been great. But I wanted to give you all an update on some of the things that we're doing as a board to make sure that we come out of this as strong as we possibly can. So Mike Fisher, our vice president, has been leading our team through a strategic planning exercise where we've been evaluating everything that we've done over the past 4 years and looking at how can we improve our processes, how can we make sure that we continue to stay focused on our mission, how can we make sure that we continue to engage with our volunteers, how can we make sure that we're serving our community as best as possible. And Mike's been tremendous in helping us through that process. So we'll be approving that with our board, and then you'll see some rollout of that in the coming weeks, as well as we continue to share all of the things that we're trying to do as a board to continue to strengthen and enhance the organization. Our service is just one of many throughout the community, and we've been really fortunate that even though we've had to suspend our services, that we've got this great support network. So what our team has been doing, and you've probably seen this if you follow any of the social media, is also trying to make sure that we're connecting with our partner agencies. We currently serve a number of partner agencies who refer their clients to us for the furniture services. And they may provide a very wide range of services for those families. So making sure that we're being a supportive partner during this time and doing things like providing masks or sharing things that they may need from food or supplies, things like that, where we have some immediate needs within the community. So we know that we're just one of many agencies, and we know that you all probably support a lot of these other partner agencies, and it's so important right now that we just continue to lift each other up throughout this time and stay connected with our community, even though it looks a little different than it used to. One of the other things that we've been doing, as Betsy mentioned, is we have a task force associated with what the reopening is going to look like. We're still very unsure of all of the details, but we've been working through a plan. The staff has put together and evaluated again a lot of the different scenarios, because we're in and out of people's homes, because we are serving a population that has historically had a lot of challenges. We want to make sure that we're keeping everybody safe. Our number one priority is getting back to our mission in a way that's going to ensure that we don't harm anyone. And so we've looked at a lot of different scenarios, and we're going to be doing a staged approach to ensure that we have all of the right protocols in place as this continues to evolve. So we'll be rolling more out on that in the upcoming weeks as well, to keep everyone in the loop. We want our volunteers back. We love you guys. You're the heart and soul of Home Sweet Home. And we know how important it is, and how you want to come back and get engaged, and we want that too. We're just it might look a little bit different over the coming weeks. So we'll try to do as much as we can to stay in touch remotely. And Lisa Bees, as Betsy mentioned, is going to continue to do some training so that, again, we can take advantage of some of the downtime and do some of those things around safety and planning that are going to allow us to be more efficient as we are able to reopen. We're also looking at some ways to do some remote events. Our events chair, Mike Palermo, has been looking at a variety of different things to stay engaged with our community. We had to postpone our trivia event, which is one of our largest events of the year. And if you haven't been, it's so much fun. And the team does a great job of just making it really interactive and having some great prizes that you can win, and different things that you can bid on from an auction standpoint. So it's our best fundraiser and friend-raiser of the year. So we're hoping that we'll be able to to have that event again in the fall, but we're still working through all of the unknowns that we have. Again, our staff has been incredible throughout this. So for everyone who's on here or not, I just cannot tell you how grateful I am for how thoughtful you have all been in trying to stay engaged. We have an incredible team, and Betsy, your leadership has been just unmatched. I'm so thankful for you. And all of our donors and our supporters and our volunteers, you have no idea how much your support means. This has been a humbling experience to try to lead throughout this. And we are really fortunate that we've been able to continue to pay our staff and not have to worry about, who are we going to have to let go, because we have your support. And I know, I told you, Betsy, I'd cry. It's really, it's so meaningful. This mission is so important. We're serving a population. You're giving people hope. You're giving them dignity. And in the process, you're also supporting an incredible staff team. So thank you. We are so, so, so grateful for the support that we have from you all. And we just cannot wait to get started and start serving our families again. So I'll turn it back over to Betsy for Q&A. Thank you.
Thanks, Christy. Again, I just want to echo what Christy said. For those that were there in the very beginning, you know how much we rely and depend on the volunteers and our donors to pull off this mission. And so thank you for all of that. And going back to the board, I've heard horror stories from other nonprofits, and I feel a little guilty saying, our board has been amazing. Ian and Christy and I, we already had weekly check-ins, but those were able to continue. And it's not only just focusing on finances, it's just checking in with people in general. So their constant attitude for the entire board has been, what can we do to support the mission the entire way? And that's the kind of board you want to have. So be really grateful that we don't see them a whole lot in the warehouse, but they are doing a lot of that background work that's so essential. And then the staff has been extremely helpful and supportive of each other the last 2 months, and they're gonna need so much more support and thoughts as we move forward, because the next few months, I don't know why I'm crying, sorry. The next few months will probably be really, really stressful for our staff. So send them lots of good thoughts. We're going to be sending we're going to be sending staff into homes of our clients. That's one of the pieces that we know that we need to do to deliver the furniture. And so we just need to make sure that they're protected and that they have all the safety equipment that they need. And they're going to be doing it in the hot summer months. And it's going to be different and it's going to be stressful. But they are all ready to step up to the challenge. And the staff has been really, really involved with creating this plan. So the board said, tell us what you need, come up with a plan, and then we're going to get there. So I'm just really grateful to have every one of them on the team. Just a few reminders. I know you didn't get a whole lot of information about startup, but as we get them, again, it will be a staged approach, and we will continue to update people via social media and on our website. And of course, always feel free to, if you have any of the staff's emails, you can always email or give us a call. We are able to work remotely. So some of the questions that popped up were, well, actually the only really question that we got is, are masks still needed? Right now, I think we're okay. Sean is still delivering the masks that were made. I think there were more than 500 masks made by the volunteers from our partner agencies. So that's been amazing. I'm gonna unmute folks, so you can also talk if you want in a minute here. Okay, so now you are all unmuted, just FYI. If we need more masks, we will definitely put the call out. We're trying to figure out what kind of masks to get staff, whether it's cloth masks or surgical masks or and any whatever, to keep them safe. But if we need more, we will put the call out. What other questions do you have?
On the mask issue, my granddaughter has been making masks. So if you think we need some for the partners, I'm sure I can get her to do that.
Thank you, Jeannie. You're always willing to step up.
Well,
I
I'm
love it.
trying. One of my questions was about disinfectant.
Hmm?
And have you talked at all about how to disinfect donated items, or do
Yeah,
we really need to worry about that?
Oh, we're worried about everything, right? So just FYI, we are concerned about it all. So yes, there's several things to know. One is there's not a whole lot of studies actually really available to really get a clear indication on how long the virus lasts on things. So we acknowledge that there's limited studies there. The other furniture banks, it seems that they're doing like a 2 or 3 day quarantine on items. We're choosing to take a 7-day quarantine on items. So once we're able to open, part of the stage will be to accept items, and then nothing will be touched for 7 days prior to going to clients. So that's the first thing, action that we're taking. The second is there's actually a product called SteriFab that a lot of the furniture banks use already to treat things. It's very chemical, I don't know, that's not a word, but you know what I mean. It's full of chemicals. So we're hesitant to use it, but we will be ordering some of it to both treat the truck and treat furniture if we feel for some reason it needs to be treated. So that would be an extra layer of protection.
Betsy, I know we talked about in our volunteer meeting, we talked about cover-ups for the workers.
Yeah, we've explored that, and I'm actually going to have a conversation with just the movers tomorrow to kind of share more on the update plan, but to also kind of get their feeling on what they want to wear. We could order cover-ups, right? There's various kinds out there. There's cloth ones, there's plastic ones, there's medical ones, but part of it will depend on what we think is safe and what will they actually wear, right?
Sure.
If they won't wear it because it's 100 degrees and they're moving furniture and they're going to become a sweat ball and they just take it off, that's not going to be helpful either. So part of it will depend on what they're comfortable with and what they want for their own safety, but then the other part will be what can we find. I'll be honest, right now we're not looking at the option. None of them have been excited to wear something extra. And so what we're looking at doing, and the conversation has been about washing their stuff. So when they come in, they will bring a change of clothes. And at the end of the day, and some of you volunteers will love this, we will find a way to hook up the washer and dryer and they can toss their clothes into the wash before they leave. So then that way, when they come back the next day, they don't have to go home in clothes that might be infected. So
Okay.
that's another option that we're looking at.
I was talking with my friend about making scrubs that would go over,
Oh,
Clothes.
yeah. Yeah.
or just wear
So
them.
I'll bring that up with them if that's something that they want, for sure.
Okay, and she's gonna make a top and a bottom, and then I'll throw it at you.
Okay, that sounds good. Literally, because I don't want to get too close. What other questions do you have?
How do you feel about the county rollout? I mean, I know we don't have specifics yet,
Lisa said,
but I'm assuming that's going to impact everyone.
Yeah, I mean, it will. Rumor has it that they will be looking at, like, I think May 15th or 16th for rolling out
Mhm.
something. You know, personally, I think it's too early. However, I also want to move this mission forward, and Sean is getting a huge influx of people that need stuff. So that's one of the pieces driving us. While we're paying attention to what the county is saying, we also have in our plans, and I won't go into too many details, but we've really kind of stipulated our own comfortability, and we're watching two things. We're watching the trend of infection rate and making sure that goes down for a certain period of time. And we're looking at, no, that's really it. We're watching that infection rate and that it needs to stay going down for a period of time. So if for some reason that infection rate goes up, honestly, we may pull back services for a little while, right? If there's a really severe chance that our movers could get or spread coronavirus by delivering furniture to people who are at risk with limited health care, we might pull back for a few weeks until we feel that it's safer to move forward. So while the county has a plan, we also are trying to come up with our own guidelines to kind of watch that process. What will be interesting is that the county will affect how other people are responding. And Melissa is also inundated with people who want to bring stuff by or have us pick up stuff. So as the county opens, we're going to see those requests skyrocket. So we just have to find a way to communicate what the plan is and why. Diane,
So what are some of the ideas of, I anticipate there will be a large number of donations.
yeah.
Because I know some people that have a lot ready to bring to you.
Yes.
we
The
talked-
church is not doing garage sales this year, and so
Yeah.
yeah. So the real big downside is that we're gonna have to open slow and steady, right? We can't jump full force back into how we were operating before. So we're gonna have days at some point. That's one of the stages that we start picking up and allowing people to drop stuff by. We haven't totally figured out what that will look like, but it will be the same. We'll pick up items, we'll accept items at the dock. They'll be quarantined. We're gonna try to do some of that at first without a lot of volunteers in the warehouse, but at some point, we hope this infection rate will go down and the volunteers can start coming back. It will look different, but I think it gives us some opportunities to do it differently, right? So if it's maybe we have more weekend opportunities, we have more evening opportunities or afternoon opportunities because we only need small groups of people, or we only want to have small groups of people in at a time. It just might look different, but yes, it will rain upon us with furniture.
Everybody's been stuck in their houses, cleaning things out and realizing what they don't need.
Exactly.
So
Bob Pennycook has lots of tables, don't you, Bob?
Yes,
How many tables have you built, Bob?
almost 30.
Yeah. Amazing. Okay, so other question. Will our partner agencies be doing education on COVID-19? That's a great question. It says here, saw a report that suggested people without access to news may not know what this is and best practices are. So great question, Michelle. I think this is why it is really important that we are working with our partner agencies and have such good relationship and partnership with them. So we rely on those partner agencies to do that hard work of case management. They almost, I don't think there's been any of our partner agencies that shut down during these last 2 months. So they have all been operating, they all have policies and standards and procedures in place and have been serving their clients. So while I haven't spoken to any of them about this, I would almost guarantee you that they are doing that. I think the big problem is if you're not connected to an agency, it might be hard to get that information. And that's not something that we as Home Sweet Home can solve. But if they're involved with an organization, I know we've been watching a lot of the updates and emails from partner orgs, and they've been doing a great job at working with their clients in a way that educates them and keeps them safe, but also allows them to keep serving people. So let's see, Diane, we got your question about donations. So yes, we're gonna figure it out. Yes, Nina, have we considered virtual fundraisers? We do have a committee of folks that are planning that, and so we could plug you in. They're looking for help right now. I think they've identified like 3 or 4 or 5. Connie, do you know?
We currently have several ideas floating around, and there's a lot of opportunity to help. I don't know if you want to go into specifics, but there's a bingo, a virtual trivia, virtual wine tasting, virtual cocktail mixing, some different things that we're working on trying to firm up. So if anybody's interested in helping, please let me know. We could use all the help. Lots of creative minds make for great events. So
yeah, and I think we're all going to be doing a lot of digital events. So if you are interested, email either me or Lisa B, and we'll connect you with Connie, who's on the board. Let's see, I'm going to go up to the top. Somebody asked about Give Day. Give Day is tomorrow. And so Lisa Long, do you know what that website is?
Yeah, it's GiveSTLDay/Home Sweet Home, or GiveSTLDay.org/Home Sweet Home. And you can go there right now if you want, but tomorrow is actually the big day. Yeah, we have our own page, and the campaign is live, and it's just a big day to encourage St. Louisans to give back to the nonprofit community that is so strong here and does so much for everyone in our community.
Hey Lisa, when do you know when the power hours are for you?
So the power hours are like 6 to 7 in the morning is the main one. There are some really tiny incentives that, you know, they don't really do that much for us. So we're not really pushing particular power hours because we're probably honestly not in the running for anything with those. But 6 to 7 in the morning, they kind of push for the hours when not a ton of donations, like where the bulk of the donations won't be coming in. They push traffic to those particular hours. So early in the morning, late at night, if you can donate during those times, great. But anytime, all day, we're thrilled.
Yeah, the really cool thing about Give Day is that probably all your favorite nonprofits are going to be sending you a bunch of emails and social media tomorrow.
Yes.
But when you're on the website, you can donate to all of them at the same time. So you don't have to fill out multiple forms. So you can go give $1,000 to Home Sweet Home, $1,000 to your pet agency, $1,000 to, you know, a law group, whatever floats your boat, and you can give little bits to all of them. So that's kind of a fun thing. And then Cindy has done really well. Cindy Morrison from our board set up a campaign. So you could go on and kind of create your own like giving thing that goes towards your favorite nonprofit and say, here's my goal. I want to raise $500 and what it's for and why you like that mission. And then you can send it to your friends or put it on social media. And I think, Cindy, did you like blew past your goal in like 3 hours or something?
I'm not quite there. I'm gonna
okay.
push a little more tomorrow.
But yeah,
more. Yeah, so that's a really, really easy way to help keep the mission going.
Yeah, it's a fun way to, you know, if you support us, you can also learn about some really neat agencies doing some neat things here in St. Louis, and it just kind of makes me fall in love with our city even more each year.
What questions do you have?
Betsy, it looked like there was one other about doing a fundraiser to make fun masks and sell them from Maureen.
Oh, that's an idea. We could explore that. I think there are a lot of people selling masks. We have a ton of fabric. So Sue Scott originally, who's on here, said we have duvet covers, boxes and boxes of duvet covers, and so we finally started distributing those and, well, putting them out the dock, fancy. You all have been picking them up, making masks and bringing them back. I don't know if we can necessarily do a fundraiser. There's a lot of competition out there for masks. There are some companies that will like print, Chris's company, for instance, will print your mask with their logo on it. And so I think there's a lot of competition out there for masks. And we have so many people that'll make them. So, but if anyone can figure that out, it's Lisa Long. She's our idea guru.
And she has really cool masks.
Yeah. All right. Well,
put in a plug, Betsy, for your new t-shirts too.
The new t-shirts, yes. Oh my gosh, so we really are so busy. Lisa, tell us about the t-shirts.
Okay, I had to unmute myself. So Holly Hildebrand, who designed our original logo, we had her put a new spin on it for the current times, and she replaced, so I'm wearing the original shirt here. She replaced the little furniture and household goods with St. Louis symbols. And so it's a very St. Louis centric shirt that is really cool. It has the arch and a cardinal, and it has a toasted ravioli, and it has other things in there. It also says, if you can read this, you're too close. This St. Louisan needs space. And it has the Home Sweet Home logo popped in there in the mix, and it says Home Sweet Home. So it's a really cool shirt. But one of our sponsors is a really cool program, the Here for Good program, where the shirts are $20, and they are giving $10 from every shirt sold straight back to us. You go to, we have a link, Betsy's putting it up. There's a link, it's in our bio on the on our Instagram, and it's also, we have links on our Facebook page to go straight to where ours is, or if you go to the Tiny Little Monster webpage, you can find the t-shirts there. But it's a great thing to help keep small businesses going, as well as Tiny Little Monster. You know, they're covering their costs with this too. But it's only available, they extended the deadline to order this shirt just a little bit. You have until May 19th to order this, and then they'll get back to you. But it's just a fun little limited edition shirt that helps give us a little boost. They pay us once a week for all the shirts that are sold, so it helps us keep the electricity going, help us pay some of our bills during this time, and we just think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, great. Oh, somebody already did. Thank you, Lisa B, for putting that link. So there's links to Give Day and there's links to the t-shirt in here. And then Diana Gray asked about setting up a campaign. And I can show you that too. If you click the link to the Give STL Day / Home Sweet Home, can you see that? The Give Day page here?
Yeah.
So if you type that in, it very simply has create a campaign in this corner. And I don't know what happens when you set up a quick profile. It only takes a second. But then you see your campaigns down here. So we'll show you Cindy's because I haven't done much with mine. So Cindy wrote a little personal note. She talked about her goal. And then it publishes, and then it gives you a specific link. So it's givestlday.org / whatever you want to put, Grapevine Wines. And then people can go to that and then donate from there. Good question.
Thank you.
It was very easy to set up the campaign, very easy.
Great. We're leaving for work. Love y'all.
Bye.
Bye. Any final questions before we wrap up?
Nope.
Okay. Just remember that we really, really appreciate your support. Be patient with us as we start to roll out. We will definitely, as soon as we lay out some more details in these stages, we will put them on the website and social media, but always, always just call or ask should you have any questions as we move forward.
Thanks, Betsy.
Okay, thank you, everybody.
Thanks,
Thank
Betsy.
you.
Thanks a bunch. Good